the wild water buffalo, and the tiny Enoa. But each one has mastered survival in a completely different corner of our planet. Today we're diving deep into the hidden strengths, surprising behaviors, and raw power of the world's toughest wild cattle. Let's start with the one that lives where almost nothing else can, the wild yak. High on the frozen plateaus of the Tibetan Himalayas, the wild yak survives in a world that feels almost alien. Oxygen levels are dangerously low. Temperatures regularly drop below -40 degrees Celsius, and biting winds never seem to stop. Most animals would collapse within hours. But the wild yak is literally built for this extreme environment. Beneath that thick fur is a compact, muscular frame with sturdy legs and broad hooves, designed to conserve every bit of heat and energy on rocky terrain. Even its blood and lungs have evolved special adaptations. Higher red blood cell counts and hemoglobin levels allow it to extract oxygen efficiently. Wild yaks have excellent hearing and smell, detecting threats from miles away. Wild yaks spend their days slowly grazing on sparse, tough grasses and herbs, often traveling long distances across rocky slopes. They live in herds, usually led by experienced females, with groups ranging from a few dozen to several hundred. Despite their calm, almost gentle appearance, a fully grown male can weigh nearly 1,000 kilograms and charge with surprising speed and power. Their long, curved horns make formidable weapons. In this harsh landscape, wolves and snow leopards are among the few predators brave enough to try their luck. But even they rarely succeed against a healthy adult yak. Here, survival isn't about speed or aggression. It's about quiet endurance and being perfectly engineered for one of the toughest places on Earth. Now let's descend from the freezing mountains to the hot African savanna, where the African buffalo rules. With a very different kind of power, the African buffalo is widely considered one of the most dangerous animals in Africa, not because it hunts, but because of its incredible unity and fearless defense. These heavy, muscular animals live in large, tightly knit herds that can number in the hundreds. Every member stays constantly alert. Their massive horns curve outward and then inward, forming a powerful weapon. In mature males, the base of the horns fuses into a thick, bony shield called a boss that can withstand serious impacts. When lions try to hunt them, they rarely attack the group head-on. Instead, they look for weak or isolated individuals. But buffalo have a reputation for fighting back. Herds have been documented turning around to rescue trapped members, charging at lions. This level of coordination and bravery is rare among large herbivores and turns a potential meal into a deadly confrontation for the lions. Buffalo also have a deep connection with water. They drink every day and love wallowing in mud to stay cool and protect their skin from insects. Calm when left alone, but absolutely unstoppable when threatened. The African buffalo proves that strength in numbers and fierce loyalty can turn prey into one of the savanna's most respected forces. Deep in the forests and grasslands of India and Southeast Asia lives the gaur, the largest wild cattle species still roaming today. If you ever encounter a gaur in the wild, its sheer size is intimidating. Adult males can exceed 1,000 kilograms, sometimes reaching 1,500 kilograms, with tall shoulders, a prominent dorsal ridge, and a deep, powerful chest. Their dark brown to black bodies contrast sharply with striking white stockings on their lower legs, and their thick horns curve gracefully upward, pale at the base and darkening toward the sharp tips. Unlike many other wild cattle, gaurs are generally calm and non-aggressive. They move in small herds of 5 to 20 individuals, grazing quietly during the cooler hours of early morning and late evening in large, undisturbed forest tracts. But their calm nature should never be mistaken for weakness. With an excellent sense of smell and sharp hearing, they detect danger early and rely on their massive size and group cohesion for protection. In the dense forest, the gaur doesn't need to be loud or flashy. Its sheer presence and powerful build command respect. Back in North America, the American bison stands as one of the most iconic and toughest survivors of the open plains. At first glance, a bison looks like a moving wall of muscle and fur. That massive head and heavy shoulder hump are packed with powerful muscles that allow it to swing its head like a battering ram. Adult males can weigh over 900 kilograms, yet they can reach speeds of 55 kilometers per hour when necessary. Bison live in herds that move slowly across vast grasslands, constantly searching for fresh grass and water. When wolves or other predators approach, the herd doesn't scatter and panic. Instead, adults form a protective circle around the calves, presenting a wall of sharp horns and massive bodies. In winter, when blizzards blanket the plains and snow piles up to 4 feet deep, bison use their heavy heads and powerful neck muscles like living snowplows, sweeping the snow aside to reach the frozen vegetation beneath. They also grow thick, woolly coats up to 2 inches long that insulate them so well that snow often sits on their backs without melting. Calm most of the time, but fiercely resilient when survival demands it. The bison is a true symbol of endurance on the American plains. In the wetlands and river valleys of South and Southeast Asia, the wild water buffalo reigns as one of the heaviest and most powerful cattle on earth. These animals look like living tanks. Some males weigh over 1,200 kilograms, with massive, widely spreading horns that can span nearly 2 meters. Their wide hooves and thick skin are perfectly adapted for life in swamps and floodplains. Water is central to their survival. They spend hours submerged in rivers or muddy pools to escape the heat and insects, and their sparse coat helps them stay cool in the tropical sun. Wild water buffalo live in herds, usually led by experienced females. While they graze on grasses and aquatic plants, large males often prefer a more solitary life. Tigers are among the few predators that dare to challenge them, but even a tiger must be extremely careful when approaching a full-grown water buffalo. Heavy, powerful, and perfectly at home in wet environments, the wild water buffalo survives through sheer strength, patience, and standing its ground. Finally, we come to the smallest member of the wild cattle family, living in the dense, shadowy rainforests of Sulawesi and other Indonesian islands. The Anoa is tiny compared to its giant relatives. Standing less than 1 meter tall at the shoulder and weighing 150 to 300 kilograms, these solitary or paired animals have learned that in thick jungle, staying hidden is often the best defense. With short, straight horns, strong legs, and a compact body, Anoas move quietly through narrow forest paths, feeding on leaves, fruits, ferns, and young plants. They are surprisingly good swimmers and have no trouble crossing rivers or muddy areas. Their dark coats help them blend into the forest shadows, making them incredibly difficult to spot. In such a crowded environment full of obstacles, survival comes not from fighting or dominating, but from silence, caution, and staying out of sight. From the freezing heights of the Himalayas to the steaming swamps of Asia, from the African savanna to the North American plains and the deep Indonesian forests, wild cattle have conquered some of the planet's most challenging environments. Each species has found its own unique path to survival. Endurance in thin air, unity against predators, sheer size and presence, snowplowing strength, patience in wetlands, or stealth in the jungle. These magnificent animals remind us that nature doesn't reward just one strategy. It celebrates diversity, adaptation, and quiet strength in all its forms. Now, one thing before you leave. Which wild animal or group of animals should I cover next? Drop your ideas in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that button right now so you don't miss the next video. Check out the recommended video on your screen. You're going to love it.